Hi, Mrs. Ramirez here. We are working today on Module 2, Lesson 2. We're interpreting division of a whole number by a fraction. The visual models are quite helpful in this manner, and probably by now you've already done the example 1 with the posters and group work. So we are going on to example 2. So, example 2, module 2, lesson 2, example 2, 2's all over the place. So, what we have this time is Molly has 9 cups of flour. If this is 3/4 of the number she needs to make bread, how many cups does she need? These problems feel different than the ones we did on yesterday on lesson 1 because the lesson 1 division was partitive division, remember? And today is a different kind of division. This is the time we have 2, and it is measurement division, which is different. Measurement division, okay, it says a little different. I'm going to be the real definition this part. The divisor names the size of the group. It's always of the group broken into groups, things, because that's division. And the quotient, and the quotient is the answer of a division problem, represents the number of groups. This one is a little more difficult. It just is a little different. You have to ask yourself a little different questions than you have to in the partitive division that we talked about in lesson 1. So they're walking us through it this time. They're saying construct a tape diagram by reading it backwards. So that's an interesting thing. What they're actually asking us to do is, what is 9 broken into groups of 3/4? Okay, which is a little different, like we said. So they're saying 9 broken into groups of 3/4. You could also say, how many 3/4 in 9? So you're asking yourself a little different questions. You could also say 9 is 3/4 group of what size. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do it. They specifically ask for the tape diagram first, and there are times the tape diagram is a really good method, and I actually have a way, a way I'm going to show you in a second that I actually like better than tape diagrams, but you make your decision. So construct a tape diagram by reading it backwards. 9 broken into groups of 3/4. How many 3/4 in 9? So here's the backwards part that they're talking about. How many 3/4 in 9? So with the tape diagram, we're just going to make something large, but I don't know the entire. Okay, now they say next shade in 3/4. Oh, okay, so I'm going to break it into half, fourths, and 1, 2, 3/4. I'm going to shade in 3 of the 4. So there's my 3/4 like we did in yesterday's lesson. And next, label the shaded region to show that 9 is equal to 3/4. Okay, She has 9 cups of flour, and this is 3/4. So this right here is why it's equal. So this 3/4 equals 9. And in the problem, they're saying that. Okay, so they're saying 9 cups of flour. If this is 3/4 of the number she needs to make bread, that's why we can now say, oh, 9 equals the 3/4 big groups. So, therefore, I can figure out that I've got what equals 9. I have 3 equal groups that equal 9. Well, I know that 3 times 3 is 9. 3 groups of 3, so 3, 6, 9. That means this one would also be a 3. So therefore, I see I have a total of 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so there's one way to look at it as well. And analyze the model to determine the quotient. Let's go ahead and write the division problem as well. 9 broken into groups of 3/4. Okay, how many 3/4 in 9? We're going to figure out. And this model says it's 12. Okay, because the 9 equals 3/4. So I want to show you a different way to do this as well, and we've got plenty of room over here. So another way to model this is to show 9 cups of flour. So 9 somethings. I'm going to do rectangles quickly, if you'll draw them as well. And an array of 3 by 3 gives me 9. So since it's 9 broken into groups of 3/4, I'm going to break all of these 9s into fourths. Half, and then half again gives me fourths. Half, half on each side, half. Okay. So I have 9 and they're broken into fourths, but they're not looking for fourths, they're looking for 3/4. So you're going to need some colors here, and we are going to break how many 3/4 groups in 9. So I'm going to start coloring these, and I'm going to color in every 3/4. So there's 3/4. Then I'm going to change my color. 1, because to finish that up, 2, 3. Change again. 1, 2, 3. And there's 3, and the size is fourths. Go back to blue. Oh, these 3 are all together. Okay, so we'll keep doing that. Oh, somebody's calling me. Somebody needs Mrs. Ramirez. One group of 3/4, another group of 3/4, another group of 3/4, and more groups of 3/4. If you will, go ahead and keep coloring them. Hopefully these people don't leave a message, or we'll just see. Yep, Mrs. Ramirez is at home on a snowy Saturday. 1, 2, 3. They didn't leave a message, yes. So they didn't disturb us too much. And 3 again. So notice they're kind of being broken in the same way. One group of 3/4, another group of 3/4, another group of 3/4, because what they're doing is asking us, I went red next, didn't I? They're asking us how many groups of 3/4, oops, color 3, in my 9. So I'm going to break it up, and I can see it really easily this way. Green, I've gotten my order confused. 1, 2, and 3. And finally, 3 more. Okay, so I like this visual because it shows me my groups of 3/4. So when they're all together, there's 3 and the size is fourths, 3 and the size is fourths. So out of these 9, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We come up with 12 groups of 3/4 in 9. And you can see it very, very easily. I can see my 9 things. I can see my groups of fourths and into 3/4, and sometimes I had to break them up. I like this way as a visual model actually better than the tape diagram. It's a little faster to draw this, but I like seeing the parts and how they come together with this. So it's really up to you what you decide to do as a model. Yeah, up to you. So go back to the 9 broken into groups of 3/4, which notice we took 9 and we broke them into groups of 3/4. And as we've been learning, the inverse, the opposite of division is multiplication. So here is my opposite. Okay, so 9 times 9 groups of my first opposite. Divide becomes multiply. And then this 3/4 is called a reciprocal. That's when you flip the fraction. Okay, and it's an opposite of a sort as well because it has now been flipped. So instead of 3/4, it's 4/3. First opposite, second opposite, and as we saw on the number line, the opposite of the opposite is the same thing. So now we know when I have 9 wholes, I can put 9/1, and I have 9 in my fraction. Multiply straight across, as we know, 9 times 4 is 36. 1 times 3 is 3. 36 thirds. Okay, therefore I can now reduce as well. I'm going to divide by a giant 1 of 3. And running out of room, I'll move it down here. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And that gives me 12 groups. And my answer, 12 groups of 3/4 in 9. But it doesn't talk about the flour, so let's write our little sentence. 9 cups of flour, 3/4 of what she needs. How many cups does she need? Okay, so Molly needs 12 cups of flour. Oops, period. Okay, happy learning.